CFA Level 1 Feb 2027. If that is your plan, then here's the detailed roadmap. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanishka and I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a detailed roadmap for CFA Level 1 February 2027. I'm going to start with all the basic details like cost, registration deadlines, important dates, etc. And then we will come to an actual sustainable plan like subject sequence, resources, what should your approach be, etc. etc. So let's get started. But before that, if you're new to this channel, then please take 1 second to hit the subscribe button. If you've ever liked my work even a teeny tiny bit, then please join the community by subscribing to the channel, and while you're at it, do not forget to hit the bell icon so that you're notified every time I post a new video. And for the very kind people who have already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for joining me in my journey. I hope we stay together till the end of time. Okay, first of all, when is the Feb CFA Level 1 exam gonna be happening? It's gonna be happening between 22nd Feb to 28th Feb. You can choose any one date between this period. Now, one very common question I get from many people is, oh, but in my place, I'm not getting all the options. That does happen. Usually, the initial dates are put out, and then if those get full or they're getting full, then only the additional dates are added. Make sense? So, yeah, usually be ready, I would say, from 22nd to 24th, just in case in your locality or in your area or your preferred location, the further dates are not open. But otherwise, it is between 22nd Feb to 28th Feb. Coming to some important dates that you should keep in mind. First of all, registration for the exam has already begun. If you guys do not know, it has already started. The early bird deadline, that is the time till which you will be able to pay a lesser fee, will be till 7th July. If you want to pay via the invoice method, okay, you can pay till 26th Feb. So after 26th Feb, you cannot pay via the invoice method at all. Then the final registration closes on 5th November. Let me just explain this. If you pay now till 7th July via any method, invoice, credit card, etc., you still have to pay the early bird fee. If the 7th July mark crosses, you have to pay the standard normal regular fee, which will be applicable till 5th November. But till 26th September only can use the invoice method. That means after 26th September till 5th November, registrations will be open, but you will not be allowed to pay via the invoice method. Okay, I think you've got this. Then 10th November is the scheduling deadline. Remember, I told you have to choose a particular day between 22nd Feb to 20th Feb. So 10th November is the deadline to do that. Ideally, I always say just schedule it the day you register your exam. Why wait? I don't get this. It's nonsense at all. And if by chance you have any disability and you have any specific request for accommodation or any specific need, the deadline for that or to ask for that is 11th November. So these are all the important dates. Now, I kept saying early bird standard fee, so let me tell you what the cost is. So if you pay via the early bird method, that is till 7th July, if you make the payment, you have to pay only 1,140 US dollars plus 18% GST if you're from India, or applicable taxes from wherever you are in the world. If you pay after 7th July but till 5th November, you have to pay 1,490 US dollars plus 18% GST or any applicable tax. Very expensive with how the rupee has depreciated. Okay, one more thing. The Access Scholarship window, if anybody wanted to apply for Feb 2027, is completely closed. I had made a video on that already when the window was open. The result, or the reward result as they call it, will come out on 23rd June. So if you have applied for it, please do not apply for the exam till you get that email saying you got the scholarship or did not get the scholarship, whatever. Because if you end up registering for the exam before you get the scholarship, your scholarship application will be null and void. So just wait it out till 23rd June. Once you get the email, once you are on one side, okay, did I get the scholarship, did I not get the scholarship, then decide whether you want to register or not. One more thing. Even if you did not get the scholarship, your early bird deadline stays till 7th July. Pehle hota tha that they used to give you throughout the early bird deadline. That doesn't happen anymore. Your early bird deadline will be 7th July, whether you applied for the Access Scholarship or whether you did not apply for the Access Scholarship. Okay. Now, coming to the fun part. Do you need classes? Do you not need classes? Starting with the basics. Completely your choice. Classes is just convenience. It makes it easier when somebody who has studied the material, who knows the material, who reads it day in, day out because they're teaching it, just explains it to you from the exam point of view. It makes your life easier, but no class can guarantee success. And if you are coming across a class that is saying we are guaranteeing you success, do not join them. They are lying. Does not happen. I cannot even believe somebody saying that. So classes is completely a choice. Personal recommendation, if you can afford it, always go for one. Always, like, I am the person, I would always pay for something that is more convenient. I am that kind of person. So that's my personal recommendation. If you can afford it, go for it. Which class to go is another question. Any teacher who is able to explain you the concept is the right teacher. There are a gazillion teachers out there, all of them are great, but not all of them will be able to communicate in a way that you understand. Not all of them will be able to communicate in a way that Tanishka understands. The goal for CFA is I should understand the topic. I should understand the concept. If they are explaining me 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, मेरे दिमाग में बैठना चाहिए. It's not that they are saying 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 and I am thinking 1 plus 1 is equal to 11. Not a good teacher. So whether that teacher is very famous, not famous, go for a trial lecture. I always say go for at least 2 or 3 trial lectures. Compare, see, okay, I'm liking this teacher's way of teaching better. I'm able to understand better. Go with the person you're able to understand with. If you are not able to understand, no matter how famous that teacher is, no matter what they're offering, do not go to them because you will not pass the exam. That's an honest fact. Coming to resources, two very famous resources. One is the CFA Institute material itself. The day you register for the exam, you will get these resources. You will get the entire study material PDF plus a certain set of standard questions. They have also started a thing called premium questions, wherein they're offering a certain extra level of questions, extra number of mocks, and they kind of say that this is the closest to the exam. That's what they say. Nobody knows kitna sach, kitna dur. It comes at a cost, I think it's 299 or 300 something dollars. If you can afford it, definitely go for it. If you cannot afford it, it's not the end of the world. Many people pass even without it. So do not rack your brains, feel bad, hold yourself, make do with what you have. Okay, coming back to what I was saying, the day you register for the exam, you will get your hands on the CFA Institute material, the CFA Institute books, as you call it. It's a PDF version, you can print it or you can just study it from there, plus the questions. Another famous material that is there is the Schwezer books, available usually in local stores. I usually get mine from NM Stationery in Bombay. I'll put the number in the description box, or you can just comment. Actually, you know what? You guys comment NM Stationery and I'll give you the number of this guy. Now, who should use Schwezer? Who should use CFA Institute? If you are not going for classes, I recommend using the CFA Institute books because they are more complete, they are more in detail. Chances of you missing something will be less. If you are going for classes who are already teaching you something or already understanding the concept very well, you can use Schwezer. Why? Because you've already understood the topic through the video lecture, through the class. You'll not want to basically spend more time reading. You'd rather just skim through. The reason I'm telling you to still read is because knowing that tonality, the wordings, the kind of language that is being used is important. So that's why reading once is important from either Schwezer or CFA Institute. That's your choice. I'm just giving you a recommendation that if you're going for classes, you can use Schwezer. A lot of classes provide their own notes, and a lot of people tell me, can we read through them? You can, but my personal recommendation is still at least once skim through either CFA Institute or Schwezer because the tonality I feel is the most closest to the exam. Not saying resources or other class resources are bad. This is just my personal observation, personal, क्या बोलते हैं? Personal opinion rather. Okay. Now, from the resources point of view, you guys know that the syllabus has changed for CFA level 1 for the 2027 exam onwards. So there are changes only in 3 subjects: quants, equity, and ethics. So these 3 subjects you cannot study from the past books. Do not use 2026, 2025 material for them. Everything else ke liye you can use. Now, CFA Institute books, so like I said, when you register, you'll get. If in case you want Schwezer, the Schwezer books for 2027 are not yet out. They will come somewhere in July, maybe even August. I have spoken to the NM Stationery guy who I get it from, and what he told me is कि 2026 की copies भी अभी कम पड़े हैं, but you guys can start studying from the 2026 material for the remaining 7 subjects. You can even ask him if you just want one specific subject. He'll charge you accordingly कि कितने pages हैं, because obviously you'll have to just print that. Otherwise, usually you have to buy it in an entire set. The set is usually available for 1,000, 1,200. If you're couriering it out of Bombay, out of the country, obviously the charges will increase accordingly. But this is where you'll get the resources. I would highly recommend, if you're giving your exam in Feb 2027, start studying by July 1. Do not delay. I know it seems like you have a lot of time, but in reality, you do not have a lot of time. You will only have a lot of time if you start now. You'll have comfortable time. 8 months, 7 to 8 months is a very golden period for CFA level 1. Any delay in months thereafter, it's not कि नहीं होगा, it's just that you're making your life more hard and more difficult. So please, if possible, start from July 1. Try to complete your syllabus by like December end. Use 1.5 month for revision. You will thank yourself. Like I'm saying, many people do it with even lesser number of days, but when you can get your hands on convenience, why wouldn't you? So this is my recommendation. Coming to the last part of this video, the subject sequence that I would recommend for 2027. I am giving another subject sequence specifically for 2027. Usually, I am a very big believer of starting with quants for level 1, but since I'm assuming you guys will study from July 1, and some of you might not have your Schwezer copies yet, so I have changed the study strategy. बहुत सोच समझ के डाला है. I have clubbed subjects that are similar together. I have kept a hard, easy strategy so you do not feel too much pressure that okay, this is too hard with hard. No, after a heavy subject I've kept a light subject, so this entire thing is very well thought of, and it is a study strategy that I usually, a study sequence that I really swear by. So you can start with fixed income, you go to alternative investments, then you do derivatives, then you do economics, then you do ethics, assuming by then you will get your hands on the 2027 copies, then you do equity, then you do corporate issuers, then you do quants, then you do portfolio, and last you do FSA or financial reporting analysis. That is literally it. Also, one more thing, do not stress when you take time to complete one particular subject as compared to the other. Understand that certain subjects require certain time and certain subjects are done more easily. For example, fixed income has 19 chapters. It is a little heavy. Most of us have never seen or understood about the bond market. It's not taught on a day-to-day basis. It's not spoken about. So it takes us time to learn it. I, for my level 1, took 1 month to do fixed income. It's okay. You can make up in the other subjects. So do not hold yourself so strictly that, oh, I will complete one subject in 1 week only. Every subject is different, every person is different, your personality is different, what you know is different, how you understand is different. So be a little bit kind with yourself. Rather than counting number of hours, set weekly targets for yourself that okay, this week I'll complete 2 or 3 chapters. And the more realistic your targets are, the more achievable they will be. The moment you start seeing yourself achieving targets, you will be motivated to do better. This is a golden mantra that I follow and all my clients follow. And hey, in case you're looking for somebody to give you a detailed customized study plan specially made for you based on your life schedule, your issues, your personality, your understanding, and somebody who understands the CFA exam to the T, of course I'm the right person. The link to that is in the related description. Fill that form. I'll get back to you within 48 hours and then let's take it from there. And if you like this particular video, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Until then, keep sparkling and definitely keep learning.